Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Tina. Hey, Darren, Goran. Hello, hello, hello. So we're
Hi
just
there.
waiting for a few more people to enter the room. Hello, Lynn. How are you?
All good, thank you.
Good. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So today it's going to be myself and also Lynn Whittingham. She's the agent partner manager for Fabric Property Group. I've had the pleasure of working with Lynn for the last 4 years. And yeah, we manage the agents, and she helps me sort of keep things organized as you do need sometimes in life. You know, my wife keeps me organized as well, so it's good to have Lynn on my side. And yeah, we're just going to be talking today about a new location that's been on our radar for a while, Kingston upon Hull. We believe there's huge potential in this particular city. What we're finding is that certain cities in the UK, like Manchester and Liverpool, they're just becoming a little bit out of reach in terms of price points. Manchester, you're now looking at £400 to £500 per square foot. Even Liverpool now, it's hard to get anything sort of 250, £300 per square foot or less than that. So very interesting city. Just as an introduction, if you haven't met me before, my name is Dale Anderson. I've been in the property investment industry now for 17 years. And in that time, I've mostly focused on new build off plan. So yeah, lots of experience. We do a very high level of due diligence. We're very selective of who we choose as our developer partners. We make sure the projects are fully funded. And we're really liking the office conversions recently because there's been a lot of build cost inflation, so you tend to get much better value for money. So today we're going to introduce you to Criterion House, which is a 41 unit new build conversion development in Hull. And yeah, basically, yeah, we're excited to introduce the projects. We're going to have 41 units completing in Q3 2025. This particular developer has recently completed another project, George House, and a few others in Hull, which have been very successful and very competitively priced. So very good location, close to the university and major employers. A bit of a new city, emerging city, but you can pick up a one bedroom from £118,000 and a two bedroom apartment from £165,000. So when we look at investments, the first thing we do is look at the location. We'll do a lot of research to make sure there is a demand. And yeah, Hull has recently, it was the City of Culture in 2017, which then saw a trajectory of inward investment. The city attracted over £3 billion investment with over £1 billion more ongoing projects. What stood out to me was the significant developments in the financial services in terms of manufacturing, but also sustainable technologies. So as a port city, it is one of the busiest port cities in the UK, in Yorkshire, and it's benefiting from what's called the Green Port. So you can go on the website Greenport Hull. There's a £600 million renewable energy hub led by Siemens. And obviously, this investment's driving economic growth. It's boosting employment rates and creating a strong demand for quality rental accommodation. In terms of the population, so we've got quite a large population for a city there. It's 288,462 residents, £1.5 billion of investments in the last 8 years, and growth targets of 1.26 billion by 2026. There's also good population growth expected, about 28,000 by 2035. So what's driving the demand in this particular new sort of emerging city? Average yields 5.41%. Criterion House, we're actually getting on AST's 6% net. Average asking prices around 138,000, and we expect price growth. Savills project 28% growth over the next 5 years. So really low entry, as I said, £118,000 for a one bed. You only need your initial deposit, which you can invest from as little as £35,000, and the balance at completion in Q3 2025. So as I said, over the last decade, there has been a £10 billion of investment into the city, since it was the culture, sort of one that's city of culture in 2017, and that has brought in a lot of investment. So Lynn, just on your side, in terms of our recent discussions with many of our different agent partners across the globe, the overall sentiment towards investing in the UK, I mean, what have you been seeing happening with your agents and clients, and what are they kind of looking for at the moment?
Yeah, hi Dale. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'd say there's a definite noticeable cautious optimism, let's say, among investors at the moment. Many still see the UK property as a safe haven, especially given its stability and strong rental demand. Overseas investors are certainly very prominent at the moment. I'd say key motivations. They probably include securing steady income, long-term capital growth, and diversifying their portfolios.
Thanks, Lynn. So Lynn manages our agent network. So, if you're interested in working with us, Lynn can, of course, help support you and give you the information on the project. So I'll go to the next slide. In terms of location, very good transport links into Manchester, York, London. By train, the development is walking distance, about 10-minute walk to the train station, and then also the university. It is right in the city centre, so it is HU1 postcode. So city centre investments. Get to Leeds and Liverpool as well. 2 hours 15 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes are quite easily accessible just in the northeast. In terms of investments, so again, like I said, we do a lot of due diligence to see whether there is an investment case. The Port of Hull really is the main activity that's been going on. There's over 100,000 containers every year. It's the UK's first fully enclosed freight handling and shippings. There's been 12 billion of trade passed through to ports annually. The Association of British Ports spending 8 billion. So it is a major destination for import and exports. And with that brings in a lot of demand for renters, corporate demand. You're going to have people working in these sectors in shipping, imports, exports that need good quality accommodation. So in terms of tourism, this particular development, you can do normal letting, so standard rentals, you can get about 6% net, but you can also do short-term lets, which will generate up to 9.5% net in some cases. So lots going on there. Hull has recently got 23 more visitors annually than its population, making tourism a booming sector recently, compared to London, which only has 3 to 4 times as many people visit each year. As you can see, it's recently gaining its crown since 2017 as a city of culture, which has seen a lot of demand. 9.7% increase in overnight stays, 25 million in city centre transformation. There's been a £30 million maritime project to highlight the history of the city. And interesting, I used to do a lot of research on the history of these cities and just see what's happened. It's quite a historic city. It was originally founded in the late 12th century. And then, there's a lot of sort of medieval history there. The city rapidly grew as a major port for trade, wool, wine back in the early 1200s. You then had the 18th and 19th century with industrial growth. It became one of the most important destinations for fishing ports. Of course, then in the 20th century, you had the unfortunate World War, and it was unfortunately one of the most heavily bombed cities in the UK. So just some interesting historical facts there. The recent history and regeneration, they're saying, is basically because of what's happened since 2017. There's been a huge amount of regeneration, and it's spurred investment in the city's cultural and economic infrastructure, revitalizing its public spaces, museums, as well as the waterfront. So the city's really diversified its economy, focusing on sectors like renewable energy, digital industries, and education. So just a bit of history lesson there for everybody. I used to read a lot on Wikipedia, and I just put it into the chat GPT and it gives me the facts quicker. Also, Lynn, I mean, in terms of your, currently just in terms of a quick question, what key factors are your investors and agents currently prioritizing when considering UK investments? Are they focusing on yield, price, capital growth, or what's the kind of
Yeah,
demand at the moment?
I mean, look, as always, Dale, investors are mainly prioritizing yield and capital growth. But I've got to
Yeah,
say that I certainly am noticing through conversations with the agents, and I'm talking to them all day, every day, but pricing and affordability are increasingly critical. They're
yeah,
looking for locations that have got strong rental demand, good
mm,
transport links and economical
yeah.
growth potential. So certainly looking outside of the normal areas, let's say.
Yeah, I think the reason we found this compelling, we get a lot of inquiries through online advertising and Google, but we're finding a lot of people's expectations, like Manchester and Liverpool. A lot of people coming in and their budgets around 100, 150,000. Maybe they just want to dip their toe in the UK market at first. But the reality is, if you're going to buy in Manchester city centre now, one bedrooms, you're looking no less than sort of 240, 230, 240, even on the outskirts. So I think, given the rising prices in cities like Manchester and Liverpool, I mean, how have you observed investors shifting their focus? Have you found that there's been a bit of a shift, Lynn, or?
100%, yeah, 100%. A definite noticeable shift towards more affordable, high potential
Yeah,
cities like Hull, Sheffield, Nottingham, those types of places. Investors are attracted to lower entry points with
yeah,
sort of stronger rental yields and emerging growth stories in these areas.
excellent. Okay, and then yeah, so on to the next slide. So in Kingston upon Hull, I mean, it's notably just called Hull really by most people. I tried to pronounce it right as well, Lynn. Thanks for correcting me. So diversity for short-term stays, because it's a major port and major tourist location, we do permit short-term lets in this particular project. The ongoing project means short-term let market benefits from not just visitors, but contractors who need accommodation whilst working on the projects. Plus, you've got the university, the college, and a number of attractions there. So you can go on TripAdvisor and see what kind of rates are being achieved. We have got some projections in from some of our short-term let providers, and they are projecting around, I mean, conservatively, you're looking at maybe 70% occupancy, realistically 80%. And then on the rates that we're achieving, which we can send through after the webinar if you're interested, we're able to achieve 8, 9, even 10% net on short-term lets, which you can't, there's not many other locations you can achieve that. So yeah, some images of the building. There's only 41 apartments, 1 and 2 beds. They will be built to high specification. The developer has completed a site next door called George House. There is actually 8 completed units. So if you don't want to wait, we do have some completed units available. And then in terms of the spec and everything, they are going to be built to a decent standard. There's not loads of facilities or things like that on site, but they will have energy efficiency, which is very important now because the government is bringing in legislation where you do need a good energy performance, or you may have to upgrade your property to meet the net carbon zero requirements. And yeah, in terms of the fixtures and fittings, they will come fitted with your usual kitchen and integrated white goods and everything else. And then the furniture packs, we can do at favourable prices. 1 bed's around 3,500, 4,000 pound. A 2 bed maybe 5 or 6, but we take care of all of that for you. So as I said, the main thing is that Greenport I found very attractive, the renewable energy hub led by Siemens, and the fact that it's a very low entry point price makes it quite interesting. Also, tourism growing. It's been a 97% increase in overnight stays since 2017. So that's up to 7 million visitors per year. And each apartment will become designed to appeal to professionals. They'll have open plan layouts, modern kitchens, integrated appliances. So everything will sort of come included to create a good demand for the tenants and the rising population. So that's really to summarize. So 1 bed's from 118. You can invest from £35,000 up to 10% net returns. You can do AST and corporate lets, which have been very popular recently, and it is in a prime city centre location, which we believe has huge potential. Another question, Lynn, have you noticed any trends in the types of properties people are looking for recently, whether that's new build, off plan, or long-term or short-term lets? What have you found to be the highest demand recently?
Yeah, there's definitely a growing interest in short-term let scale because
Mm,
the higher yields that they offer, it's quite simply that. But many still prefer the long-term buy-to-let option for stability. Investors are keen on properties that can offer both of those options,
yeah.
which indeed Criterion House does. So yeah,
Mm.
that they are looking for properties with both options available to them.
Okay, cool. And then also recently, has there been any projects we've sold or like success stories? Because we've delivered now a few hundred units across the UK. We have a 100% delivery track record, and obviously we've got lots of glowing reviews online and Trustpilot. But has there any been recent success stories with your clients or agents on the short-term let model?
Yeah, sure. One of our very good agents, actually, their clients have purchased short-term let properties at a project that we sell called Dockside Residences in Liverpool. It's as you know, it's a phenomenal location.
Great
It's
location,
right,
yeah.
yeah, it's right by the M&S Arena and the Exhibition Centre. Brilliant location there for short-term lets and achieving gross yields of about 17%, and net
Wow,
yield of 8%. I think I'm right in saying within the
correct,
first
yeah.
year due to strong tourist demand there.
Mm,
There's been just, well, over the last few days, the Labour conference and just seeing the queues go past the door. It's just a very prominent location. So yeah,
great.
and our team will provide full support from the initial consultation to ensuring efficient local property management.
Great. I think that's important. For me, I always was like, my main concern was making sure the projects are delivered on time and built. But I've learned over the years that asset management is very important. So we will make sure we work with good local companies who can manage the properties, whether you want to do a normal rental or a short-term rental. It's important to have a good local operator to manage that. And I think that's where we got it right with Liverpool. Again, location's important. I mean, if something's further out the city, your short-term rentals are not going to be as good. So as you can see, yeah, we are 8-minute walk to the museum quarter, 3 minutes to the theatre, 6 minutes to the art gallery. So again, we're in a good city centre location, which should really help with the rentals. So just a quick recap, guys. We won't take up too much of your time. This will be recorded and sent to people who are interested to share it. We do also offer referral fees if you've got friends or family that are looking at investing or getting in the market. Me and Lynn can let you know more about that. But yeah, invest from as little as 30,000, completion Q3 2025, modern specification, and we've done all our due diligence on this developer. We're very confident that they will deliver a fantastic product. So we're going to go on to some Q&As. If anyone's got any questions, maybe they want to drop in the chat for me and Lynn, and then we can perhaps answer those for you. I'll just bring this up here. Let's see if I can see the chat. Where is the chat? Oh, there we go. So yeah, if anybody in the chat would like to ask any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We can definitely answer those for you. No questions as yet. Or am I looking at the wrong place? You see anything in the chat, Lynn?
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
I've had one come through to me directly, actually,
Okay.
asking how we can help our agents and referral partners with a project like this. So you happy for me
Yeah.
to answer that, Dale?
Yes, please, Lynn. You
Yeah,
can. That's a
sure.
good one for you.
Yeah. So yeah, my agents mean the world to me, let's just say. I love the relationships we build. You know, we provide a very comprehensive support to them, detailed market insights, marketing materials, white label as well, regular training sessions if required. We've got a dedicated team to assist with client queries, progressions, deal closures, and aftercare support. It's absolutely paramount to me to support the agents in any way possible.
Thank you,
And
Lynn.
also one thing that's vital for people to know is that we do register your clients within the system and the development, so they remain your clients. And yeah, you're rewarded for any future purchases. You know, for us, certainly Dale and I, trust is everything.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I hope that answers that one for you.
Thanks, Lynn. Yes, we do provide full white label marketing support for the agents as well, and training if needed. I had a question from Tina. Thanks, Tina. She said, can you do a real life example to work out profit, say on like a 35,000 investment? Is the investment option open to people located outside of the UK or Ireland? So yes, you can purchase property as a non-resident or any outside of the UK. There's no issues with that. In terms of a live example, what we would like to do is send you the financials afterwards, because there's different scenarios. It depends on whether you're going to do short-term lets or long-term rentals. But just to give you a quick idea, say you would investing 35,000 and you were looking at on a short-term rental basis. In fact, maybe we should just share this quickly just to run through it. Share screen. Okay, can you see the screen there, Lynn?
Yeah, all good.
So £118,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. Reservation deposit would be £2,500. So you choose your apartment of your choice. You have an opportunity to get in early and choose the best properties. You then put 25% down on exchange, less the deposit, and then 75% on completion. Of course, then you need to consider your stamp duty tax, your legal fees, and if you are deciding to take a mortgage, cash is always preferred on sort of the lower entry type investments, but in some cases, mortgages could be available. But yeah, so you're looking at, on a short-term let model, 9.7% net, which is fantastic. And then your profit based on the Savills recent projections over 5 years, you could be looking at 5-year rental income, plus you've got your uplift. So you're looking at combined profit over 5 years of £95,171, which is a 77% return on your investment. So I hope that answers the question for Tina. Who Shakib has asked who's doing the management of the lettings. So we've got a few options here. I work closely with Darren at Fortum. He introduced me to the project. He may be on this call. He does a letting service for your standard normal lettings. Typically management fees can be around 8%. Or we've got a few short-term let operators that we use for short-term lets, My Property Host. There's a few others we work with now as well, Prime Properties and a few others, but they basically charge normally 15% up to 18%. In fact, in Liverpool, we're working with a company called Happy Days, who are really good. And I think they charge 12 to 15% for their short-term let management. So I hope that helps. It's full turnkey. We'll make sure that we've got a very good, reputable management company to do the lettings for you. So another question's come in here. From Peter, what is the average square price in the UK? What are the room spaces like in this project? So in terms of the property prices here, I mean, the great thing is, like I said, Manchester, Liverpool, it's like £300-400 per square foot. The sizes on these particular units in Criterion House, so you've got 39 square meter one bedrooms, and then your 2 bedrooms are large at 70 square meters. So some of the one beds are even up to 50 square meters. So square foot, one bed's around 420 square foot up to the 570 square foot mark, and then the two beds at 775 square foot. But fantastic value. I mean, that's £219 per square foot, up to £280 per square foot, which is currently unheard of in the new build sector. So it's just a really affordable way to invest in an emerging city in the UK. Hope that helps. Let me check if there's any other questions. What are your short-term let periods in relation to normal lets? So that's come through as anonymous, but basically, so based on the projections that we have for the short-term rentals, just bringing them up, they project so what they do is they use a website called AirDNA. So that takes all the data from that local city, and it'll tell you what occupancy you can expect based on Airbnb data, based on booking.com data. And they are projecting on one bed £75 per night, on the two bedrooms £96 per night, and they expect an average occupancy of 80% on this particular development. So again, we can send that information through, and of course, show you what the gross yield is, and then the deductions, which is your service charge, your listing platform fee for Airbnb, which is normally 15% of the revenue. And then you've got your management fee, which is normally around 15 to 18% of the revenue, giving you a net yield of around 9% net. Another question's coming here from Kai Kosifos. I hope I pronounced that right. Do you assist with legal matters, or should we arrange our own solicitors? I'll let you answer that one, Lynn.
Thank you for that.
Put you on the spot.
Thanks. Hi. So yeah, no, we sorted that for you. It's really is important that you use the panel of solicitors that we recommend on any of the projects. It's purely because they've already done all the searches, etc., on that development, so they can move very quickly. You'd be looking to exchange within 28 days. So, you know, immediately we've got the reservation form, etc. We would introduce you to that solicitor for that development and take it from there. And we do assist with chasing up and any problems along the route.
So just to clarify, so we'll recommend a fully independent solicitor who's already done the report on title, check the planning permission. They are fully independent to the developer. They act on behalf of the client. And yeah, I mean, usually we can negotiate a good rate with them. However, you're not obliged to use them. You can, of course, use your own lawyers. It may just take a bit longer to go through, but that's not a problem. Another question from Shakib: if the letting management is online, can they offer corporate tenants for short-term lets like banks, or as you said, Siemens? So that's exactly it. So we do target, rather than we try to avoid the short-term lets where it's kind of like, your people going to party or whatever. People get a bit worried, right? They're going to trash the place. So we actually focus on corporate tenants. So we would be looking at corporate contracts sometimes from the likes of Siemens or banks who are in the area who need that short-term accommodation for their workers. So we do tend to focus on corporate lets, which we found have been more successful in these locations. So yeah, I hope that helps. I think we are short on time. Any in the pipeline? Shakib asked. I'll definitely come back to you on that. I can check. It is early days. But I'll speak to the local management companies and see, because there is of course some of these big projects going on there with Siemens. So we actually have a completed development, George House, which just completed recently. So this is like the next phase effectively. So I can find out what the tenant demand has been like and whether there has been any corporate tenants come in. But they do tend to fill up very quickly. And we do tend to get the properties fully occupied on your usual AST rentals within a quick time frame. So yeah, I just mentioned that we'll make it interesting if that's negotiated. So I can certainly find that out from the managing agent, and we'll definitely come back to you on that. So I think that's a wrap. If you do have any other questions, we will certainly be happy to get in touch. If you do want to receive the information on the project, we can send you a detailed information pack. Just put yes in the comments. If you put yes, either myself, Lynn, or one of the senior consultants will be in touch, and we'll be more than happy to run you through the project and answer any further questions you have. But in summary, I believe it's a good location. It's exciting. It's very, very good value for money. And I do sometimes think investors who have foresight to look at these new cities, new areas, tend to, do very well. So definitely one that's on the top of our map for this year. And any questions or anything, feel free to get in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to help. So thank you very much for your time, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Dale.
Lynn.
Cheerio.
Cheers. All the
Bye-bye.
best. Bye-bye.